Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to a special episode of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. This episode will serve for an episode for the content creators of color. Today I am sitting with the homeboy, Mr. Cletus Kassady. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I can't complain, man. You know, I'm trying to be like old people, man. It's good to be in the land of the living.
Right.
One more time.
Right. Good to be seen. Good to be seen, sir.
And not viewed.
Right.
Good to be seen and not viewed.
So we was talking earlier, man. I'm very proud of the growth that you've had. It's a blessing to be able to grow in the midst of the pandemic, like the elder said.
In the midst of it, right?
In the midst. So I want to shout you out once for being a director. Was it your first time directing?
It was the first time this project. So you talk about the New Year's Eve project that I did for my church, the Mount Global Ministries. So for me, that was the first time I'd done something at that scale. So I've been able to direct, some skits and little teeny stuff, but nothing at a scale of multiple sites and music videos and all kinds of stuff like that, man. So this was my first foray into that. So big shout out to John Brim and Alex Holt, who brought me in, and they were like, "Hey man, this is what we want to do. We want to work." I think it started because it's why I tell people, man, you have to make sure you work your relationships. Mm-hmm. You have to make sure that when you do stuff for people, man, whether it be free or $1 million, man, you put your best effort out there for it. So Pastor Brim had watched me do some stuff before. He's just been kind of, chronicling my career. And he came to me and he was like, "Hey, man, we're trying to do some creative stuff for the church." So we came up with this parody of the church. So our church called The Mount. So we did one called The Mount. Mm-hmm. And so it was basically just a ripoff of our church, just kind of making up stuff that was similar to what we already had at our church, but different. So I directed those for the church, man. Those went well. People really liked them. And, it was just something. I go to the church. They asked me to help out. I was like, boom, I helped out. And so from that, man, they saw my work. They saw my work ethic, how we put things together. So he's like, "Hey, man, I want to come back and have you help out with this New Year's thing." So Alex and Pastor Brim, they came in and they told me what their vision was. Mm-hmm. So we just added to that vision, man. And I was one of the directors because Alex directed some stuff too. And my guy's name is just playing my head, not my heart, man. I had another young man that helped out with directing, but I took a majority of it, man, with the writing and the directing. So it was cool. It was a lot. It was a lot of work, but it was amazing, man.
So, one of the things with the content creators of color, is the whole spirit of collaboration, right? And mm-hmm. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed were the different people throughout the community. They got a chance to participate in that. Like, we really are the 7 cities, and I felt like you had representation of all over the 7 cities in that present. And if you know what I mean?
Correct. We had all 7 cities. We had Atlanta in there.
Right.
We worked a lot of different areas, man. So it was great. So, and it fit. So sometimes you do stuff that just works, even in a bigger capacity, even if you're not doing it on purpose. Mm-hmm. So with our church trying to be more of a community-based, all-encompassing church, mm-hmm. It was cool that we got all those areas in, going out to the racetrack, and I believe that was in Smithfield.
And Hampton, Langley Raceway.
Hampton,
uh-huh.
Yep. Going out to Langley, and even, the bank that we used out in Virginia mm-hmm. Beach, and the Agape bus tours, which was just based in Chesapeake. So we used them, uh, film some stuff out
Bruh,
in front of our house. So that,
you ain't lived if you ain't took one of them church tours where you go to
yes,
some church in the back where everybody get on the charter bus and you get that chicken sandwich with that one piece of Wonder
everybody bring their
Bread.
own chicken. Yeah, man. You know, put a little hot sauce on a chicken leg and put it in some bread. So it was the whole experience was just great, and to be able to touch so many people, man. I've had people hit me from all over the country
Mm.
who watched it. People are still watching it. So it's been a cool experience, man. I'm excited about it, man. And actually we're gonna be working on some more stuff already, some content creation. I got some other stuff that I'm doing as well. I'll be going out to Los Angeles for. So it's just, man, we just kind of keep it moving, man. And I preach to people, man. I really tell them, if you can treat people well, so many people put money before everything.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But if you can literally create good relationships with people, the money will come afterwards.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The money will come. Build those relationships.
Talking about relationships, I got a
No,
bone.
I'm still not that one, man. So if anybody's out there that listen, Rihanna's baby is not mine. I'm upset about it just as much as everybody else.
I got a bone to pick with a friend of yours, Mr. Kev on stage.
Okay.
I don't think that he gave Yak appropriate chance. I saw his video. I saw he made partial effort. He came to the 757, but he ain't go to Mama Chan's. You gotta actually
So here's the
breathe
thing.
Mama Chan's air.
So here's the thing. So there was two parts to that.
Mm.
There was definitely two parts to that. So first of all, the yacht thing has been a running joke between me, Kev, Tony Baker for probably about 3 years,
Mhm.
right? So the first time that they had yacht ever, we got it from Mama Chan's.
Mhm.
We got the yacht from Mama Chan's. So it was very difficult because he's semi-vegan,
Mhm.
but Tony's definitely a vegetarian.
Mhm.
So we had to get him yacht with no meat in it, and so that already takes the yacht to a whole different
Right.
level. Like he'd be like, "Nah, the meat is such an important element." So we got Kev, and I think Tahir was there too. We got Kev and Tahir chicken yacht from Mama Chan's. They already went in with a negative attitude. They already went in
They ain't give it a
with the
chance.
whole,
Right.
yeah, Tony kept calling it the struggle plate. He called it Hunger Games food. So we kept having this argument. So we've been having this argument every time I'm with them. We on the road. They'll bring up, you can't say nothing. You eat yacht. Like all of this happens all the time. So big ups to Kev. He just got a new food show called What's Good. That's on his streaming app. And he called me. He was like, "Hey, let's do something about yacht while I'm here." And I was like, "All right, cool." We end up filming that on a Sunday morning at like 9.
Uh-huh.
So ain't no Chinese restaurants open. Mama Chan's definitely wasn't
Right,
open.
right. She
I
and
was
Mama Chance
able,
don't care who you are. You could be Barack
folks.
Obama could pull up and she would not care.
Nah, you ain't getting nothing. The guy or the
Mhm.
owner's a guy named Frank. Frank's like, no.
Mhm.
So what ended up happening was just God's timing again. I had a friend of mine who had did a yacht sale
Uh-huh.
the night before. She sells yacht out of her home. So I was able to get a box of her yacht, have it at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the rest is history. So they went in with that negativity off the jump. Kev won't trying to feel it. Neither was Tahir. But they from the West Coast. They don't know no better, man.
Yeah, I
Yacht
know.
is a delicacy. Yacht is the caviar of the South.
uh, I bet Jonathan Reynolds will eat the yacht.
Yo, first of all, shout out to Jonathan Reynolds for Ether and Kevin with the Your Grandmama Prefers Me song. Like, if you're not following that whole Kevin on stage, Jonathan Reynolds beef, you are missing out
On
on
a
probably one of the
master
most
class
hilarious
of
things.
petty.
Listen, but what's so funny is how petty John is.
Right.
Like
I
John's
didn't.
petty.
So it's always it's always the church kid that gets underestimated.
Listen, John's petty. First of all, his basketball skills are underrated. John's petty though, and so he was here at Calvary Revival, and I was on the show, and I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna introduce you, cause
Do it too
you be doing
much.
my boy wrong, man. Like that's my boy. Like if somebody was just dogging you on a weekly basis, Sean, I don't know if I could come bring them up, man, but I had to do it because the check was good. But I let him know off the top. But John is a cool dude.
Mhm.
He's just a cool guy, just living his life. I think it's what it's got to be, and it's no swipe at the Dixie Hummingbirds and those cats, but a lot of those cats were so puffed up, like you felt like you couldn't even be a part of what they brought to the
Right,
table,
right,
in gospel. But well, Kev too, but Jonathan, even for the level of star that he is in gospel, and even now coming over on the other side, he's still really approachable, really cool, really sit down. Like, and I think that's what we need to represent more from the kingdom
mhm,
on that perspective. Like, being in the kingdom don't mean that you the king. Like,
right,
you know what I'm
and you
saying?
ain't
And
gotta
that's
be
how
all puffed up all the
some
time.
people carry it like, you can't come to me, sinner.
Right.
Be gone with your dirt and
How
sin.
dareth thine come
Right.
and
I like,
define.
why are you even talking in Bible? You was cussing just earlier. Like, let's just be the approachable people that we need to be. That's how you're gonna get more people in the kingdom. It's not by being, people take that whole, we are a chosen generation.
Mhm.
We are not part of the world. Nah, cuz you really are. They're like, you still going to work right here in this very same world. So in order to bring more people in, man, we got to be able to be relatable.
Mhm.
We can be able to talk to them, and then you can still be set apart while being part of the group. That's what the key is.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. So every time I have you here, I dub you the Portsmouth ambassador.
It's
I
getting harder every time, though.
I know, right? We just don't act right, man.
This is
So
ridiculous.
I wanted to give you a chance to talk about the 420th festival, and I know it's been a little controversy in the festival itself, and I just wanted to kind of have a little conversation with you about that.
So I'm glad you also asked me about it. One of the organizers is a good friend of mine, Jermaine Green. Me and Jermaine have grown up together, known each other for years. He's been my boy. Um, so it's a two-sided coin for me. I called him recently. I was like, "Hey, man, your festival is becoming a headache for me because people people keep calling me." And so, first of all, most of the people that call are reaching for me to be negative with them.
Mhm,
They're like, "Hey, man, give me some negativity on this thing." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to." Do I have concerns about it? Absolutely.
mhm,
When you start talking about putting 10, 15,000 people in the neighborhood that they're talking about putting 10 to 15,000 people, logistically, it's a nightmare.
mhm,
Even for the safety issue, because there's going to be a lot of people who come from out of town. Them people ain't gonna really know what they're getting into. You
mhm.
know what I'm saying? And we got some cats right now, man. The way these young boys is out here wilding, they just recently arrested 3 young men for
For
carjacking.
carjacking, like what was
Yeah,
that about?
they out here carjacking
Uber
Uber
drivers.
drivers and delivery drivers. So they out here doing that. Those are the people you got to worry about because they don't care about the festival.
Mm-hmm.
They all they see is that there's a whole bunch of people coming from out of town, might have a little money on 'em. This is my chance to get at 'em.
I'm
You
time
know
to
what I'm
eat.
saying?
It's time to eat.
So,
Right.
yeah, so the criminal element is like, yo, this is a buffet. This is a crime buffet. You mean you're gonna be putting cars out here and just leaving them and they going way down there? Dog,
Uh-huh.
I could break in anybody's car at this point. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the issues, just the safety, especially with us coming off of Astro World,
Mm-hmm.
and this being the first time this has ever been done. But I talked to the brother. Hey, man, listen, they got a solid plan. He did something that I respect. I don't like cutting my grass. I don't. I can do it, but it ain't fitting to be the way that it needs to be. So what I do is I hire a professional that cuts grass. One of the things that I'm really proud of him for doing is realizing, man, that they ain't never put no music festival on. They don't really know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they went out and hired the same company that did something in the water
Mm-hmm.
to actually put it together. So they're the face of it, but they actually have a company behind it that's actually putting all of those things together. Now, I don't know what the unity party is. We've been putting it that this is a unity festival and that
Mm-hmm.
it's going. I just think it's a concert, and I'm okay with that. Like, I literally am okay with it being a concert. One of the things that I've been getting on people about, because people are hitting me up, well, what they gonna do with the money? Are they gonna put the money back in the community? They don't have to.
Right. Right.
Did the community put the money up to have it? No, they
Mm-hmm.
put their money up to have this event. They don't have to do. I mean, listen, if he goes and takes all the money and uses it as toilet paper, I don't care. It's his money. He's earned that. I don't think it's fair that we always nitpick at people who we can touch and who are in our community and hold them to a standard that we don't hold anybody else to. When concerts come to the Virginia Beach Amphitheater, when they come to the Scope, you ain't going to 7 venues and asking them what they doing with the money from this
Right.
concert. Are you putting this back into the community? You don't care.
Mhm.
You don't. The boys from Live Nation, they the two richest white boys out here in the
In
game,
the get right.
and you ain't never asked them what you
Mhm.
putting back into the community.
Mhm.
They're in Boston. Ain't nobody in Boston like, hey man, y'all just did a concert, man. Can you get that back to the community? They don't even expect that out of them. You don't expect any of the performers that's on the show to give back to their community, but because this guy is from your community, you can see him, you know what his faults are.
Mhm.
You want to go and hold him to a different standard than everybody else. So that's the reason why we see so many people who leave and don't come back. When
Mhm.
they be like, well, why don't the Missy Elliott's of our community stay back in the community? Why don't the Pharrells? Why do they leave and only come back every now and again? The Chad Hugos. We've got a lot of actors who are doing stuff that don't come back here. The reason why is in your mind, you never let go of who they used to be. You can't see
Mhm.
them for who they are now. So Missy come here and somebody be like, man, she ain't nobody but I
Right.
remember
Right.
her win. Then no matter what you do, ain't enough.
Mhm.
She get $25,000, $30,000 to the school. That's all she giving though. All
Right.
that money she got, she ain't give her 30,000. Dog, that's a lot of money. You ain't gave 30 cents. How
Mhm.
you gonna be mad that she gave 30,000? You know what I'm saying? So that 420-ish thing, I think it's I want it to go well. A, because I don't want it. I never want any bad to come to the city. B, because it's a friend of mine who's doing it. C, I just hope that it doesn't go as well as they plan.
Mhm.
That it doesn't go all the way to the left.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
go to the left. Let's just make it a slight left.
Mhm.
Let's just change lanes a little bit, and it may not be as financially successful as they wanted to be. But I just pray that none of the other things that we worry about go down because Portsmouth just has that reputation.
Mhm.
It does. Like I get cats that come here from New. I talked to a friend of mine, a comedian friend of mine from New York. He came down. He was like, "Where you live at down here?" I was like, "Portsmouth." He was like, "Oh no, man, I ain't coming out there, dog." Like, dog, you from Brooklyn?
Right. No, I heard about P Town. Yeah.
That's what everybody says. So
Yeah.
that's such a huge thing for us, man. Portsmouth has got to change. And I've talked to the mayor about it.
Mhm.
Everything. We have to change our public image
Mhm.
before we can really move any further. Is this necessarily the concert that does that? I don't say you change your public image by bringing the city girls,
Mhm.
but but it also ain't gonna change by bringing the Canton spirituals. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
you're gonna
Right.
have to be a little varied and do some things, and you got to take first steps. And I think this is a great first step because what I do know is that success is often imitated.
Mhm.
So if they're successful with this, you're gonna see another group try to put on a festival, the Red Hot Chili Peppers
Mhm.
and their people, and then this and then that, and maybe the amphitheater start having more shows. So we'll see.
I think my concern is more infrastructure than the concert itself. Like,
So that infrastructure is gonna be tough.
ain't that
Like
the
you know
same
where it
street?
is.
You remember we used to have the what's the parade we used to have every year in Portsmouth? The
No, it's
fishbowl
not. No, they didn't have a fishbowl parade on Portsmouth Boulevard. That's on High Street
on High
in
Street.
London. Portsmouth Boulevard is what it used to be the Pines. What this is, it used to be the
Oh,
Pines.
okay, 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 okay.
Yep. So it used to be
Oh,
the
that's
Pines,
like
and now
right
it's the
in
Portsmouth
between Link and London
Lincoln
Park.
Lincoln Park,
Lon-
old Lincoln Park, which they just tore down and made into a
Oh,
new Lincoln Park. So it's right
yeah.
across
So
the
they
street from
just
there.
got people right in the middle of the heart of.
Oh, you were in there. You in there.
You better
You in
run
the
towards
hood.
Harley
So
Davidson.
you in there.
Just
Yeah,
get.
you in there. So the
Oh.
yeah, you in there. So that's gonna be the thing. So infrastructure rise, but they've actually hired land engineers to come out and try to plot out the best way to set up the stage and the different things. They're hiring security to try to make sure they cover all the points of entry
Mhm.
and egress. And so it's gonna be they are planning for it to go well. I
Mhm.
cannot say that they've lacked in planning. Um, the wild card is going to be the people that come in.
Mhm. Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of times in events like this, man, you have people who come from out of town who don't care about the city either way.
Either way,
They
right?
come in and act the most ignorant. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So it might not even be Portsmouth people. It might be those suffering suffocants.
Yeah, but okay. Public service announcement for any Karens
PSA.
that may come down here. and get in that neighborhood and want to act up, please be on your best Karen
So the
behavior.
Karens, so the Karens can't even come. So first of all, Karens, all the Karens are gonna stick out like a sore thumb. We know you're not from around here. That
Because
neighborhood
that is like
is ninety
multiple
nine point
levels
nine
of
percent black.
Portsmouth that you got to go through to get to that part.
Yeah, it ain't easy. It ain't easy to get there. I mean, so the lineup is gonna bring you. So I think you're gonna be surprised with the number of people who come from out of state
Mm-hmm.
and out of area. So it's a darker lineup
Mm-hmm.
as far as the acts are concerned. However, hip hop has a very diverse audience, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of white kids are listening to hip hop, a lot of Asian kids. So a lot of times you go to those concerts and that's what you see at those.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we will have a diverse group of people going to the show. I don't think it'll be a blackout. But trust me, it may be gray. You know, it's gonna be gray. But I think it'll work out, man. And here's the thing for me: somebody like you
Mm-hmm.
has legitimate concerns because you care about the community, you care about the things that are going on. A lot of people don't care, man. They just hate.
Mm-hmm.
They just doing it because it ain't them, you know. And those type of people, man, I can't deal with.
And I want to see Port. It seems to me like Portsmouth has always struggled with its identity, especially with Harborfest being right across the water. Like when they try
So
to have Ports
we used to have the
Fest and
Seawall
Emoja
Festival.
Festival, and yeah, right, right. But
So
it seems like
we used to run simultaneously
right,
Harborfest and the
right.
Seawall
Remember you
Festival,
used to get
and the
on the
Seawall
ferry,
Festival worked for us. Yeah,
right,
and you can go in the ferry,
and
go
go
over,
back
come
and
back and
forth.
forth.
Mm-hmm.
Seawall was good. The problem with Portsmouth is that Portsmouth doesn't know its own self. Portsmouth doesn't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So Portsmouth continues to try to be Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and other cities. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
Norfolk. I mean, be Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Just be who you are. I can't function outside of who I am. I'm not that person. So for example, even in my career, um, Tony and Kevin, and I use them because they just good friends of mine. Tony and Kevin, they are dominating on the social media platform because that's what they do. They are
Mm-hmm.
social media cats.
Right.
I'm not that guy. I can dibble and dabble in it, but it's not my forte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the 30-second quick clip guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. I don't get into it. I'm me. I am comfortable being me, and I just need to maximize what my audience is. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Portsmouth
Right.
doesn't do a very good job of that. Portsmouth like, oh, well, Virginia Beach is doing this. I should do this. And when you do that, you'll never become who you need to be. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I see cats even in the comedy game trying to do stuff that's not them. Oh, such and such blue because they did that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do this.
Right.
Oh, such
Right.
and such blue because they did a dance video. I'm gonna do a dance video. Ooh, such and such did this because they did animal videos. I'm gonna do these voiceovers. No, cuz be who you are authentically, and that's how you're gonna bubble. Now you may see something that somebody does that you feel like you can do as well,
Mm-hmm.
but make sure it's something that you really are called to do and able to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
there's a million people doing podcasts. Everybody can't do what you do. They don't know the work involved, the planning, even
Mm-hmm.
look, the backgrounds on your stuff, man, the sensual candles you got in the back. I don't even know what that's all about. Uh, the microphones that you committed to this thing, all of that stuff, the equipment, that's a different level than you just waking up in the morning like, oh, I'm gonna do a podcast. So you sitting in your car and you talking. Your podcast ain't doing nothing. You're not going about the promotion of the podcast. You don't know how to like my podcast is on Anchor. You don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
get it distributed to different platforms so that it'll show up on Apple and all of these places. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So be firm in who you are. Preachers do the same thing. Like I've talked to preachers before, and I'm kind of told them, I was like, hey, don't be jealous of the preacher with the mega church, quote unquote, just
Mm-hmm.
because you got 45 members. There's a place for the 45 member church.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's a definite need for that place. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandma was one of them people who was like, when I die, I want the pastor to know my name, know me,
Mm-hmm.
so he can talk
Mm-hmm.
about me at the funeral.
Yeah.
When you
And
got
not be
35,000 people,
member 5,434.
some people need that. Some people need that connection within the church where they feel like they know everybody in the church.
Mm-hmm.
They know you. Really, there was a time where the church was family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bigger churches have families within the families, but I do remember, man, at a time where everybody in the church knew you, your
Mm-hmm.
mama, your daddy, all your kids. They see you in the street. Oh, that's such and such grandson. I gotta help him do this. It was a family unit because it was a church. Now, if you go even further, church used to be part of the community, literally. before we were able to drive cars
Mhm.
and have those kinds of choices. Remember, the church was in your neighborhood. The pastor lived in that neighborhood. He walked the church. All y'all came
I think
together.
the
Y'all fed at the
same
church.
thing with schools too.
And same thing with school. But now you got a vehicle. You drive all over the place to
Mhm.
go to whatever church. Man, now I can watch it. People sit at home. I go to TD Jake's church. I be like, but you live here.
Right,
I'm a
right.
member there.
But you flew out? He flew you out?
Every week you flying out there.
You got
So what
flowed
happens when
out.
you go? What happens when your family member's in the hospital and you need somebody to come pray?
Right, who show up?
Do
What
you
deacon?
Zoom? Do you Zoom TD Jakes? Like, do you like, hey, like, how does that work? So that connection a lot of times is lost. It's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So that homegrown storefront 36 member church is still important.
Mhm.
It's still important. Just like the big church is important because some people need to go to that bigger church. And I'll say this for me, I wanted to go to a church where I could get lost in. I eventually got found,
Mhm.
but when I first got there, it was so refreshing for me to be at a church. Ain't
To kind
nobody
of
know
blend,
me.
right.
I could be sit here. I could just enjoy service. Don't nobody know me.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody gonna ask me to get up and do this. And I'm like, oh brother, can you come pray? Can you come do this? Like I could just be here. You telling me I could just sit here and be a layman and
Mhm.
just watch, just be a part of service without being a part of service. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Some people need that ability. Some people have been the lead singer at their church for the last 10 years. They need to go to a church where there's some more people who sing just as good or if not better than them. So I can just be a choir member.
Yeah, because you need to recharge your batteries too. You forget that's what church is
Got to be
for.
done.
Yeah.
And people forget we put that pressure on them. A lot of people have been putting pressure on Sister Smith to sing the solo every Sunday.
Mhm.
Sister Smith ain't never been sang to. She been in the church for 20 years. Anybody saying to Sister Smith, and she can't even feel like she can miss a Sunday.
Mhm.
Like she's just like, man, I really need the rest. But if I don't go to church, who gonna sing? If I don't go to church, that
And
pressure, you know,
church shouldn't
crazy.
be stressful.
It should not, should not, should not. You get enough stress in being married, man. Go to church, get away from it.
Right, right, right. All right,
Don't
bro.
this doesn't right, Sean. Get yourself in trouble. I was like, yeah, yeah, I agree. No,
All right, bro. This season is we actually have a sponsor, and we are sponsored by the good people at Poddex. And what Poddex does is they make these cards for podcasters, and you
it's blurry
need
as a mug, man.
there we
Oh,
go.
okay, there you go. I
And
thought you
if
had
you need episode ideas, they coach you in there, right? So
nice.
I got a copy
We
of
gonna
the
do some?
yeah, I got a copy of the episode deck. So I'm gonna pick 5 at random.
Yeah, we gonna knock these out, dog. I'm ready. I feel like we playing taboo, and there's always been a lot of stress on me not to be the person in the taboo game that ruined it for everybody. Like I'm here, dog.
Are you ready? First
Okay, let's
card.
go.
What book do you think should be mandatory for everyone on the planet to read?
Oh man. See, now you got me in pressure situations, man. Because if I don't say the Bible, Christian's gonna be like, "Yeah, I knew he won't say."
Right. Pour some extra holy water on them.
Right. They're holding me under. I'm like, dog, I need to breathe. Oh man, what book do I think is mandatory that everybody read? So my favorite book is the autobiography of Malcolm X.
My man.
Um, so I would throw that at everybody, and I say it to say this, man. It's so important to see the levels. I think Malcolm X is such an important figure because of the levels of individual that he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a quote unquote common thief. You
Mm-hmm.
know, robbing people, but he got there because of what? You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that happened with his father, what led him to kind of quote unquote not go Christianity when his father was huge. The situation with his mother being as fair skinned as she was. So he grew up with all of those childhood traumas and then middle adult, young adult traumas, which led
Mm-hmm.
him to the Nation of Islam. That he gets in there and he still starts to evolve even in there to where
Right,
they
right,
kind of
right.
turn their back on him. Like there's so much in there and there's so much that you could see. That book humanizes him to a point because I hear people all the time being like, "Man, we should have did it Malcolm's way." But I'd be like, "Man, but even Malcolm had stopped trying to
Mm-hmm.
do it Malcolm's way."
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like even Malcolm kind of was like, "You know what? Maybe Martin is up to something."
I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
I think
So,
it's like the ultimate story of transformation.
man, it's transformation and how that transformation never stops.
Mhm.
People, the new phrase now is today's price is not yesterday's price. But listen, today's Sean is not yesterday's Sean.
Mhm.
Today's Cletus is not yesterday's Cletus. We are constantly evolving, or we should be. We're constantly evolving, constantly growing. Anything that's not growing is dead. And in that growth, it's going to take you to different places, man. I know that you look back over your career and you say, man, 5 years ago, I thought I was hot. I thought I was really doing it. But even right now, I can see why I'm better. I even do that with my comedy, even with my career. One of the things that you told me, he's like, man, what you doing to the directing? Man, I would have never saw that 5 years ago.
Right.
But there's a growth, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make me any different or any less of a comedian. It just means that there's a growth to it. So we're ever transforming, ever growing. And I think that people can see that.
Mhm.
And I like that book. So I'm gonna throw that in there. Autobiography of Malcolm X
I'll take it. All right, card number 2.
or The Color Purple.
If you were in oh, this is a perfect question for you. If you were in charge, what 3 items would you have in the office vending machine?
Oh man. First of all, I'm going with Doritos,
Uh-huh.
the red pack. We gotta go with honey buns off the top. And then we just gonna slide bacon in there. I don't know how we. I don't know. I don't know how we keep it fresh, but it's gonna be in there, man.
Why
Like
the button greasy? Why the button greasy?
yeah, it don't even matter, man. Like you can't tell me that a midday bacon snack wouldn't do it for you. Throw that in the microwave real quick. Pop, pop,
Right.
pop. It's so versatile. Listen. First of all, bacon in the vending
Hold
machine.
on. What
The
if you put
versatility of bacon
bacon on top of the Doritos?
makes the Doritos better. Listen, bacon makes everything better. Bacon is a transformative. While we talk about transformation, bacon is a transformative meat. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
remember, you come to work, right? Your wife, your husband, whatever, made you a turkey sandwich,
Mhm.
right? That's all it is. But if you go to that vending machine, get you a couple of slices of bacon out there, now it's a turkey club.
You
You see
just
how it
took it to
changed
that next
things?
level, right?
Bacon takes it there. You know what I'm saying? It can be eaten by itself. It can be part of a group. It's the most versatile food on earth. It makes everything better. It upgrades anything. When you have shrimp, people already like shrimp, but if it's bacon wrapped shrimp,
Bacon
you be like,
wrap
"Oh my
shrimp.
god,
Right.
this is amazing." Bacon is the only pork that makes other pork better.
Hmm.
Like, put that in the vending machine, cause I don't know how we gonna make it work. Cause I still don't trust that box of pre-cooked bacon yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't. It's just something about it that doesn't sit well with my soul. But I'm telling you, cause bacon in the vending machine.
Got you. All right. What's the first impression you want to give to people?
Mm, I could quote the great Negro poet Tupac by saying, "I ain't no killer, but don't push me." But my first impression that I want to give the people is that I can be talked to and trusted.
Hmm.
So after that, man, everything else I think kind of flows. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else flows. I generally try to be a good person.
Hmm.
It gets you in a lot of trouble sometimes trying to generally be good, but I just want people to know, yo, like I'm a safe place.
Nice. All right. 2 more cards. If you decided to be cremated, where would you want your ashes spread?
So this is crazy, right? Because when my mom passed, that was my mom's whole thing. My mom was like, her whole life, she was like, don't make me have no funeral. You better not bury me. You know how much it costs
Mhm.
to get into that ground. Donate my body to science. And I'd be like, Mom, ain't nobody gonna want that thing. Have you seen this? Nobody ain't nobody finna want it. So what I've done personally is it's been an amazing kind of thing to just reflect on the places that made her the happiest.
Mhm.
And so I have her ashes, and but what I did, which I didn't even know until I dealt with it, you can get that the whole urn,
Mhm.
get the whole big boy urn, boom. But you can buy like little miniature urns
Yeah. So
and
I'm
get
I'm thinking about, my wife passed away and we
right,
had her cremated and they have this jury that you can have the
correct. You
ashes
can
put
have
in. I'm thinking about doing that for my kids.
yeah, so you can always have them with them. Yeah, that's one of the things. And I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that. So I think I forgot. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're an awesome dude, man. You've been through a lot of stuff, man. He's still out here trying to. Well, you are a safe space, Sean. But so My mom always loved blue water. That was one of the things. I took my mom on a cruise. Glad I was able to do it.
Mhm.
Because she always wanted to go somewhere where the water was blue, like
Mhm.
just clean water. Because she always grew up around the coffee brown waters here in Virginia.
Right.
So I took her to there. So when she passed, I took one of the small ones. I went on a cruise, took my kids on a cruise, went to the Bahamas, and I was able to spread some of her ashes out at sea.
Mhm.
Didn't realize how complicated of a process it is. You
Mhm.
gotta literally like get clearance
Right. Right.
and blah blah blah. But the cruise line was awesome. They gave us like a whole area to do it, like a private ceremony type thing, and then they came back and gave me the latitude and longitude of where we spread the
Wow.
ashes and all that in the certificate. It was kind of dope. My mom lived in Germany for a little while, and she always like just just was like always talking about Germany
Mhm.
and how much she loved Germany, this, that, and the third. So it's part of my plan to take her to Germany, spread
Mhm.
some of her ashes in Germany, and then I was born in Colorado,
Mhm.
so my mom lived in Colorado for a little bit, and so that's the other place I want to go and take her ashes and spread the ashes in Colorado, back where I was born, and where it really started for me and her, literally.
Mhm.
So those are the things. So I think that with me, I would want my kids to kind of look at my life and some of the places. Like I would love them to take me to the Bronco Stadium
Mhm.
and spread some of my ashes there. Go places that I've always wanted to. Like if there's a place that I ever perform at and I'm like, yo, this is the pinnacle, this is my place.
Mhm.
Like if I ever make it on Saturday Night Live, go to
Right.
NBC
Right.
and spread it in
30
the
Rock.
studio. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Yeah, just
Yeah.
go in there, spread. You ain't
What you
gotta tell
doing?
nobody.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, he got these cigarette ashes in here. But like, no, it's my daddy. Uh, so things like that, man. I think that it would be like those significant places,
Mhm.
in my life, man. And then do the same thing, go to the same places I went with my mom.
Mhm.
Put me back with her, in essence, take me to the Bahamas.
I think I
Spread
want
that.
some spread at where Golden Skillet used to be.
Well, yeah, it's still there. It's just another
Yeah.
restaurant
I,
now.
I need some over there, and I need some where Town Mall used to be.
Son, you just doing all four. Yeah, son, yeah, that thing, yeah, you'll get smoked.
Right.
Like the crackheads will see that thing, they be like, "What that there?"
Oh,
You gonna roll that up and smoke it.
right.
So
Put
that's
that on
crazy.
top of it. All right. Last question. Many people read electronic books. Do you think that takes away from the experience?
No, and I'm so no. I, so in my mind, it's still we still page turning. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Just keeping our fingers clean, whatever, whatever. My daughter does not believe in electronic books. She's like, dog, give me a hard copy, give me a front, back, cover, and cover, and I'm okay with reading it online. We've become such an online society. For me, it's easier because I always had the book with me, no matter where I go. And so when you're busy and you don't have time to really carry the book around,
Mhm.
but I can sit on a train, plane, automobile real quick, read a few chapters. I've even grown to like audiobooks.
Mhm.
I've grown to be able to be in the car on a trip. If I'm traveling to do a show, put in audio. That's how I listen to Kevin Hart's books. I listen to Tiffany Haddish, Trevor Noah's book. I ain't done the Bible yet, man, because just to be honest, my natural reaction to reading the Bible is to go to sleep.
Mhm.
So I don't want to put that on in the car. Like I'm three verses in, so
Hey,
I don't know
I
why
got
the
something speaking of for you to check out. I have a friend named Angel and her husband Gaza. They have a podcast called The Forbidden. And their take is modern day takes on classic Bible stories. And my
nice.
favorite of that series, they do a series on David, where David is, instead of the king, he's like CEO of the country. And
Got you.
it's modern, like they got cars and everything, and it goes through the story of how he
The
gets
Forbidden.
Bathsheba, and he see her and he sends his people out to go get her, and
He put on R. Kelly.
yeah, right. But I think something like that is kind of dope. It's a different take on it, and it doesn't have all the thous and the these, and they ain't old world speaking you
Yeah,
to
so
death.
and the Message Bible, like I read the Message Bible, but the Message Bible, how you messed up when you go to real church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Message Bible is more of a concordance than it
Hmm.
is like a Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't swear on the Message Bible. Like I could feel like I could lie if I had my hand on that. But you know, like a real Bible, it's crazy. Yeah, but I get it. I'm gonna check that out. The Forbidden
Yeah, man. I'll send you a link.
Word.
All right, man. Before I let you go, tell the people what projects you're working on now, how they can find you, what's going on in the world of Cletus Kassady.
Man, so the calendar is amazing with projects that I am working on. I'm getting ready to start doing my second podcast. So that's going to be really interesting. It's gonna be it's gonna be called Uncommon Sense. So we're gonna kind of sit and talk about weekly things that happen in the world every week. So it's gonna be a weekly podcast. So I'm excited about that. Still in the formative stages, man. We're trying to figure out if I'm gonna be selfish or have a co-host. So I think I'm gonna do the co-host thing. I think I'm gonna go with a female's voice, just to get that perspective from some ovaries. So that's gonna be amazing. I'm getting ready to do some more filming, man. So look for that. I'm doing to produce a couple of shows. So those, matter of fact, I have meetings to kind of finalize those shows, including an open mic and some comedy shows. So that's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be in conjunction with some other people so that we can, matter of fact, just give some people something to do. And I want to be able to give Christians something to do that they can still go drink, because I just know that's important to a lot of the saved people to still be able to commune. So I want to do churchy stuff, but not let it be churchy.
Right. Okay.
And one of the things that led me to that, man, was when I see Earth, Wind, and Fire come, when I see Erica Badu come, about the number of people from church who I see go to those shows. So you ain't gotta always be Marvin Sapp and all of them. While those are nice, everything for a Christian, every Christian experience ain't gotta be at the holiest of holies and sitting at the throne. Like we could just have regular stuff. So I want to make sure I provide that. And then in April, I'll be going out to LA. I'm on a NDA, so I can't really talk too much about it. But I am going to Los Angeles to film a sitcom. This will be my first time being in a sitcom. I don't have a lead role, but I do have a recurring character in the sitcom, so that's really exciting, man. We start table reads for that this week, actually.
So you got to promise me. You have to promise me. Everybody come with that OBS. You got to promise me that you gonna go Hollywood.
Oh man,
I need you to change. I need you to get big. I need you to get that extra piece of cheese on the hamburger. I need you to go all out.
I just can't. Yeah, so people always talk about me. I've been told a lot of times that I don't have the right mentality for show business, because I'm not cutthroat. I don't be trying to, I don't be stabbing people in the back. I'm real polite. If I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I will say this: the money comes like I want it to come. Money will change me. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I expect it to.
Yeah, I want it to change me. And here's when I realized it was okay. I was with Marvin Sapp, and not name dropping. It's just not Marvin Sapp. Marvin Sapp. I was with Marvin Sapp, and he was like, we were talking about like some kind of car that came out, and I was like, man, I don't see myself ever. He's like, hey, look, cuz when you get that money, you're going to do it. He said, man, I just spent thousands of dollars on some silverware. He said, I used to tell myself that same lie too, but once you get it, you are going to change. I was like, you know what? Who am I?
Right. I think it make the Lord mad when he give you your blessings and you don't spend it.
I want to be frivolous. Right. I kind of do. Like this is weird, but you know what my dream is? My dream is to have enough money, and when I go somewhere and get bad customer service, I can buy the store.
Nice, right?
And fire whoever it was.
Right.
I mean, I really just want that. Like, it's a scene in Batman where they
when they have a dinner.
When
they have a dinner.
Like, can I maybe let's see if we can put two tables together. They're like, oh no,
I don't think they're gonna let do that.
I don't think they can do it. He's like, they should. I own the place.
Right.
And man, listen, I want that kind of arrogance. I want to be able to be like, this is me.
I want to be able to travel with no luggage.
Listen, that's another one. That's another one on my list. Puff Daddy does it. He's like, yo, I don't take no luggage nowhere, dog. I just buy it when I get there. And here's the part I like. I like the arrogance of being like, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Right.
Like I ain't even gonna bring it with me. Like I'm coming home.
So
the same way I
the
left.
baby did that when he came here. He bought a whole bunch of stuff, couldn't take it with him, and just left in the hotel. and then left like some money around for people to find.
Let's just do it. I didn't know about the money part. I would have been all on that. But yeah,
yeah. He dropped a book bag of money in one of the malls around here.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. I like it though.
Yeah.
And I think my mama would beat me if I did that. But all the rest of the stuff, like I still gotta live a life pleasing to my grandmama and my mama. And I know my dad's looking up on me too. So I gotta make sure. And I said it right. You heard it, Sean. I said, I know he's looking up on me. So I gotta make sure they all got something to look up.
Well, you just make sure you get that extra egg in your yacht, bro.
Man, listen, when I can live extra egg and extra onion.
Right.
No, when you live an extra meat life though.
Can't go back.
Different.
You can't go back.
Different. Like if I go at Chipotle and be like, you know what, throw extra chicken in there. Come on, cuz.
It ain't never gonna be the same again.
Yeah, come on, cuz. And I hate when restaurants act like I can't afford it anyway. Like when you go somewhere, I don't like.
Are you sure?
You tell me, like when you tell me how much it is, I'm like, yo, put extra chicken in there. That's gonna be $2. And hey, throw it in the bag.
Right. I was grown enough to ask for it.
Right. I mean, matter of fact, let me just get a whole. I'm going to Chipotle. Just get a whole bowl with nothing but chicken.
Right.
Like that's it. They be like, you want rice? Nope, chicken. Sub my rice for chicken. Sub my lettuce for chicken. Like just all the way.
No beans, extra chicken.
Nah, all chicken.
All right, bro. I appreciate your time, man. Hold on, I'm gonna talk to you once we finish.
Yeah, make sure everybody hits me up on the social media. Everything is at Cletus Comedy, man. Get in now while the prices are low. Treat me like the stock market, because when I blow up, man, I'm gonna start having like a handler that does it, and they only. I'm
gonna need you to get some of those Fat Joe boots, Fat Joe Yeezy boots.
That not happening.
And stand out right on London Boulevard with a pink jacket on.
Nah, cuz. I don't need money that bad. I don't need it that bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Once again, this is 757 Renaissance Man Special Edition. This episode is for the content creators of color. You can reach that at c4challenge.com. Tune in, listen. We got a whole lineup. We have 15 different creators that give you a smorgasbord of content to listen to. So give them a time, check them out, and Black History Month. Peace.
Hey.